like in baseball, right? Like your first week playing with new teammates or during the season or stuff like that. You got, what do the fans think? What do my teammates think? What do the coaches think? And the honest answer is they're thinking about themselves.
What's up, everyone? You're tuning into the Diamond Strong podcast. It's where you come feeling good and you leave feeling great. The action starts now.
That makes me for doing
Perfect.
something good.
All right, bro. So
Cool.
So, Peter,
Yeah.
obviously you've played baseball a long time and you know a lot about the game, but one of the things that Erik and I are very excited to talk to you about is, I guess it's not your newfound love because you've always loved it, but golf, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
What a
gotta
turn
talk
that
golf,
took.
bro. Please explain how your love for golf started. We'll get to baseball eventually, but we're very, very interested, as you know, as older men.
Yeah.
In Erik's almost in his 40s.
Whoa, I'm 33, bro.
Shoot, my bad, bro.
Wow.
I always mess that up, bro. I'm
Slow
sorry.
it down. Yeah. Always mess that up. Right.
And me and Peter being in our early 20s.
Yeah.
But
DK.
still loving golf. Still loving golf. Let's talk about how you fell in love with the game and when that started.
Yeah. So growing up, I always played golf. I think I got started with me and my dad. Nothing serious though. Never played golf like serious or competitively or anything like that. Me and my dad would just go play golf. And I mean, at the time, I played once every 2 months and I thought I was Tiger Woods. Like, I had high expectations. I was going out there, man, I was going to drop birdies. Never the case. So I think that's what always drove me. Like, I know I can do this. I know I can get better at this, but it never really happened. So, I mean, I stuck with the baseball route. Okay. So, again, I'm sure we'll get more into this, but the year that I stopped playing at Miami, I would get done at classes at 9 a.m., have nothing to do. Nothing. Right. So, me and one of the other teammates that we had, I'd go golf with them like 2-3 times a week. And it became kind of like, yeah, this is what. So skip about another year when I decided to make the move to go back to baseball at Kaiser. They had a golf management program, right? So just like a sports management program, but golf related. So I did school there for 2 years and learned all the ins and outs of the golf industry, and I just fell in love. And that's kind of where I'm at today. It led me to the golf, and it's awesome. Love it.
Dude, Petey, hold on. Can you walk me through golf management school? Like,
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what your classes were and what you had to do in them and how did that? Because now I see you smiling like if you got a secret to this, I want to hear it.
No, so I mean, it's kind of like I didn't know what to expect when I first knew that was an option, right? Like I didn't know like if it was how basic it was or anything like that. But it's really fascinating because like if you go to a golf course, right? Everybody that runs the shop is what you would call a PGA member. They're a member of the PGA, and it actually takes a lot of work. I'm in the process of doing it now. I'm working on becoming a Class A club professional. And just to give you an idea of that, it takes about 6 years to 7 years to become a PGA class professional. So it takes a long time. So the guys that you see working at the golf course, the guys who run a golf course, man, they've been grinding for 6-7 years trying to get that classification. But like the school preps you for that, right? So you have, how to run a clubhouse, how to run a resort, teaches you about how to be a golf instructor, what to look for, different fundamentals of the game. It's basically like breaking down every piece of the game from a business side and a playing side. And it's like almost like basically like a crash course in it. So you get an idea of what it's like to become a club professional. And I'll tell you what, there are some classes, it sounds easy, like golf, like, yeah, this is great. But there's some classes in there that really make you work because it's the same as business, right? A lot of business courses that you take, but just golf related. That's the topic. So,
what was the hardest class?
dude,
Like, what was the exact hardest
dude, the
class?
hardest actually, man, history of golf got to me. History of golf, dude, it still gets to me. I can't because there's so many dates that they require you to remember. Like when did the PGA start? Who started it? Where did it start? And it was just,
Oh man, dude, that
bro, the
sucks.
textbook was literally this big green thing, and it was just thick with old stuff. And I liked history, but it was like a little too much for me. But everything else I found fascinating because I stuck with it. I mean, I think the most fascinating thing was um, golf mentality, or I forgot the official name, but the mental side of golf. They have a whole course on that, and that's great because I relate that to absolutely everything that I do, not just golf, but that was my favorite class. That's actually the first class I took that got me hooked. So,
Yo, talk to me
Nice.
about what are some. So obviously, golf being one of the most mental. Wow, bro, talk about the two most mental
yeah,
games there is: baseball
well,
and golf. Oh,
I
jeez.
mean,
What did you learn that? What did you learn in that class that you think really helped you, not only in golf but in life in general?
the one thing that stood out was the what would people think of me method, right? So, what would people think of me if I messed up, or if I failed, or I hit a bad shot, or first tee shot, never played with this guy. Oh man, what is this guy going to think about seeing my first swing? And that's kind of, you think of it and you relate that. I relate that to everything. And I wish I knew this stuff a little bit earlier, like in baseball, right? Like your first week playing with new teammates, or during the season, or stuff like that. I got, what do the fans think? What do my teammates think? What do the coaches think? And the honest answer is they're thinking about themselves. you know, you're not thinking about, you're
That's
not
true.
thinking about you. They're not thinking about what your swing's like. If I'm paired up, let's say I'm playing a golf tournament, um, I don't know, let's just say Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods doesn't care what my ball is going to do. He cares about what his ball is going to do. So we get our minds wrapped up about what people think, but half the time, more than half the time, is they don't really care. And that's I think the problem that I had, is a lot of things is, trying to do my best so much, what is somebody going to think of the results I give? You know, what is Willie going to think of me if I make the last out of this game, or stuff like that? And it's a really true thing. It's a really real thing sometimes, because you have the elite of the elite, Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, and golf as golfers. They don't think anything about, but you have a guy that's in the middle of the pack or near the bottom. They're thinking, what's this think of me? How's this going to affect my life? How's this going to affect my career? That type of stuff. And it's really fascinating stuff when you dig deep into the mental side. Like you said, golf and baseball, man, they're killers.
Ugh.
Man, that translates to so many different things, though. I mean, in you did basically golf business
Yeah.
as well, and I mean, how you structure or display, products in your golf house. Like, what is that going to do to a customer? What are they going to think about their perception of me as
Yeah.
the manager? All that stuff that's so
Well,
telling, and
yeah.
honestly, it's really deep because it's the same anxieties that everyone has. But once you realize that everyone has those same anxieties, it kind of lightens your
Oh my
load,
God.
right? Because everyone else is dealing with the same
Exactly.
thing.
So yeah, like a perfect example that's a good point in the golf industry, right? Like, think about all the money that golf has, and all these high end private courses with these members that have more money than God on the planet, right? So, you know, you think of, how am I going to please this guy so much? Like, what's he going to think of me if I don't run the tournament correctly? What's he going to think of if, simple stuff. If I put the tee boxes in the wrong place, or the pin placement that day is in the wrong area, or Joe out front has got his shirt untucked, you know? So many things, right? You just have to think about is how do I please so much? And really, he's just thinking about his game and he's actually more trying to impress you. But if you get your mind wrapped up so much about him and the hundreds of other members you have, you really can't do what you're good at because it freezes you all the time. So, I mean,
you stop thinking about the mission at hand, right? Which is to be a good professional, to be a
correct,
good golfer, to
correct.
be. It's like simplifying it, right? Like, hey, the point here is not to care what other people think. The point here is to actually do your job, which is to golf, right? That's why you're there. Yo, you know what's crazy? PD and Erik, this used to happen to me. But when I used to have a bad game at Miami, and Peter understands the dynamic of this kind of where we're walking out of, we had our locker room had double doors that we can walk out, and now we see the
Right.
fans,
Yeah.
right? So after games, we'd rush in to try to go to our meeting right after the game, but we have to say hi to the fans. We wouldn't really sign autographs right there, maybe take a few pictures depending on how good or bad the game went. But if it went, we usually had to really get into the locker room quick,
Yeah.
right? Now, after we shower and get out, we can talk to the fans, take pictures after we showered and stuff, you know, and relax. We got out. For me, I used to, just my freshman year, I really remember this, but my freshman year, after bad games, Peter, I would sit in that locker room to make sure that everybody left that stadium before I came out because I was so embarrassed of what everybody thought of me
Right.
or was going to think of me because I had a bad game that I wouldn't want to go out.
Right. No, I mean,
So crazy.
it's crazy. And I think I think the timing of it was so perfect. And it's really something, like you said, I'm glad you hit on this point of what I learned in that because, you know, I had a big thing and, you know, Willie was there, you know, sophomore year, you know, I grounded out into double play to end our season, right? In Omaha, you know, and,
Oof.
you know, and
I was watching on
yeah, so you
TV.
probably saw me there. But that, you know, for a long time, I thought that was it. That was my final at bat I was ever gonna have in a college uniform. The game that I've been playing since I was 4 years old in t-ball, right? So in front of 30,000 people and thousands of people watching at home, it's like, you know, man, I let them down. What did they think of me now? And that kind of mindset when it's really not the case. It's really like, you know, nobody cares. It's like we all did stuff to potentially lose the
To
game.
lose that game, bro.
I mean,
to lose
that game. We all did stuff, right? It's just, and that's kind of like the hard thing. It's hard to realize when it happens, but you know, when you look back at it and you think it through, you're like, you know, I just wish I had that mentality. Sure, I feel bad for the guys. You know, you never want to be the last out of the game or end the season, of course. But like, you know, it just from a mental standpoint for your well-being, I wish I would have known that a lot bit sooner. You know.
Yeah, no, for context, we got absolutely demolished in that game. So just go on record. You probably did us a favor that year. You probably didn't need any more at bats. You probably did us a favor, bro. We were on national, like you said, all those things were absolutely correct.
Yeah, we were on
Yes,
TV.
we were on national TV. We were in front of 30,000 fans.
Yeah.
And we were also getting absolutely demolished
That wasn't our
by
best game.
Lord knows how many runs.
Yeah.
I don't remember who we were playing, and we don't have to even
Santa
discuss
Barbara.
that, so that's
I
fine.
know
Don't worry.
exactly. I actually met the kid who got me out. I don't know where, but I met him somewhere in a random place. I think it was like
No way.
a really weird scenario happened. I don't even remember.
Dude, I was so mad about that game, bro. So mad.
Yeah, that was.
It was just so stupid. Like, how do we even freaking whatever, bro? How do we lose to those guys, bro?
Yeah, you look back at it.
How are we even in that position?
West Coast team, man, and it's a different type of baseball. They play a different type of
Yeah,
baseball. It's
bro.
not a power
It
ACC,
wasn't a fun type of
SEC.
baseball. That was boring. That was boring, boring
Yeah,
baseball.
it was like they just bunt, they slap. Yeah, so
Yeah,
fun.
whatever. It is
It
what
is
it
what it
is.
is.
All right, so
Yeah,
now let's talk a little bit about um I want to talk about golf, right? Like I really do want to talk about golf because I think
yeah,
again, like you've already alluded
yeah,
to, it it has such a big impact on not only a physical game that is so hard, but a game that mentally is unlike anything else, right? So when
yeah.
you're playing, when you're first of all, what are you shooting nowadays, bro? Talk to me about say some numbers here. Throw some humble guesses here.
No,
Some humble brags.
I basically play golf right now with my for off a handicap of scratch. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm
Shoot.
at. My low, I think, is 68, 67, maybe. I think my low score is, which,
Oh,
Average, bro. Whatever, no big deal.
I want to golf with you. I have to look at it. Damn.
yeah, but, so, I mean, I've been playing good golf. Now it's more teaching. I'm more in the teaching industry of it. For example, every week I give Jesse Lepore and Thomas Woodry a lesson every week.
Those guys, bro. Those guys, they love it, bro. They
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. So,
So these are two pitchers
yeah,
that played at the University of Miami.
yeah, good.
Very good pitchers,
Uh-huh.
and of course, and they want it for business. I bet more than anything because they love to go golf and then take all their clients out for a nice round of golf and
It's
put
true.
it on them pretty good.
It's true.
Are they good or look? I haven't talked to them, and I knew that's what they were doing.
Dude,
Smart dudes, bro. Smart dudes.
I think a lot of pitchers. I think pitchers have some of the prettiest swings for some reason, and I'm still doing research on how we correlate pitching to a golf swing. Because if you step in right, I can tell who's a hitter and who's a pitcher based off their golf swing. I have an idea. Hitters are a little bit more, I guess, unorthodox would be an appropriate word. Pitchers, I think, are a little bit more controlled. Their mechanics, their techniques are a little bit more sound or on point. Maybe because pitching requires a lot more mechanics or technique. I'm not really quite sure. But no, they have pretty good swings. I mean, they're definitely moving the ball pretty good.
Is Woody a righty or lefty?
Woody's a lefty.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny.
Because I'm a righty when I golf.
Okay. That's,
Yeah.
See, it's strange how that works. Strange how that
Dude,
works.
I just can't. I cannot. So when I'll go to, I mean, to top golf every once in a while, I'll go lefty, but I have this thing that when I come back, then I get here and all of a sudden I go,
Just
like I think I'm
at the
actually
bottom.
doing a swing, huh?
I
Yeah, I
mean, there's
lose it,
just
bro. I
so
lose it.
much going on in the golf swing, and it's like, where do you start, and how do we get you to the end point? And it's kind of where basically I had to slow down those two guys before we could even
Uh-huh.
start to speed up the club again. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, like, it's a fun industry, man, and it's really kind of rewarding. And something that I've seen is the amount of baseball players that transition to golf is incredible. I mean, so I'm in West Palm Beach, so I'm about a couple blocks.
Terrible place to live,
Terrible
right?
place, right?
Sucks.
Couple blocks.
Bad golf courses.
Yeah.
Tell me
right.
about it, right? Can't get on like 90.
You must be so mad going
If you
every
throw a
day.
ball in any direction, you hit a PGA course.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking A.
You have some of like the highest end golf clubs in the world miles away from each other. You know, you got Seminole, the Grove, Michael Jordan's place down in Hope Sound.
Mhm.
I mean, all these places, PGA National where they hold the Honda Classic. It's ridiculous. But so I'm right down the street from the Houston Astros complex, and one of my former teammates at Kaiser, he's been a really good friend of mine now. He works for the Houston Astros in their club organization, and dude, he's always like sending us these guys to come over to Kaiser to take lessons because they love baseball, they love golf so much, and it's like ridiculous. It's like I think it's just something that, baseball guys can do, like that's similar to baseball, but it gets their mind off of it, right? Like it's just kind of like a freedom per se,
Yeah,
I
you get
guess.
to be outside and different
Exactly.
scenery, and
Hmm.
loosen up, but you're still kind of doing a swinging type motion. What do you
Exactly.
think about this whole like live golf and PGA tour?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's nuts. I mean, they're paying big boy money.
Yeah. So my kind of viewpoint on that is, and I think it was Dustin Johnson who said it best, right? Get paid more money to work less. So if you put your mindset, right? Now forget all like the politics side again with Saudi, put all that aside, right? But if somebody offers you to work less and get paid more, spend more time with your family, where do I sign up, right? Because
It's that easy.
you got to remember, because a lot of people don't notice about the PGA Tour, right? Is again 4 rounds: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You only get paid if you make the cut. So if you don't make the cut, so say the cut score is you have to shoot +2. If you shoot worse than that, all those expenses and all that stuff, you're not getting that money back. Like you're not making you're not making a paycheck that week. And for a lot of those smaller guys, those middle tier guys, it's a hard living. They're on the road every single week away from their families, and they don't even know if they're going to get paid. Like there's some guys out there that won't make 6 or 7 cuts in a row. So that's 2 months without getting paid. So life on the tour sounds always great, but it's tough. Perfect example. There's this guy last year who won one of the live golf tournaments, Henrik Stenson.
Oh, I know this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Swedish guy, right? He played 20 years on the tour. Okay. He won like over his career, he's made like 4 or 5 million, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of million. He plays one live golf tournament, wins the event, and he's made $4 million.
Jeez, man.
Yep.
It's guaranteed money. I mean, and guys are going to start going to it, It's just guaranteed.
So can you break that down?
Yeah.
Are they getting contracts as well? So here in the PGA, how does it work? You get paid only if you make the cut.
Only if you make the cut.
But over there, are they signing contracts like here in sports, like a baseball contract?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I don't know the exact numbers. With Phil Mickelson, right? They basically paid Phil Mickelson 4 or 5 years just to show up and play to make like 300 or 400 million.
Mm-hmm.
They offered Tiger 750 million. Again, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but it was like 750 million just to play, just to show up.
Yeah, and then if you win, you get paid out
more.
again.
Yeah. So it's basically they're paying like these contracts to go out and play, and if you win, you make more money. I mean, but that's the thing, though.
And I heard the events are like completely different, right? Like now, like the PGA events are very like sophisticated and upper class and quiet, and the live events are like the name kind of says, they're kind of live. Like they got DJs and music blaring and all types of, and there's a hole that like there's music at one of the holes, and it's supposed to be like the hype up hole where people are screaming and all this stuff, and it's like a party.
Peter,
what's that?
Is it like the Waste Management
on steroids?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So like, some of the big thing is they have music on the range, like they blare music down the driving range. The guys are allowed to wear shorts, which is a big thing. Everything's a shotgun start. So what that means is everybody starts on a different hole, and it starts at the same time. So like instead of there being
one time.
No, like they fill up 18 holes with groups of 4. We're 4 guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
that's a big deal, because on the PGA Tour you have people starting at different times. So if later on in the afternoon the weather shifts, you could have an advantage or a disadvantage. Because here, like hey, we all started in the same shit. We're all ending in the same shit. It's like the score, theoretically, the scores are more even.
Correct. Yeah, no. So that's a big thing too. Is guys in the depending on where you're at, the conditions could change like from morning to afternoon. So say the morning guys play from all their walking, all that foot traffic, right? The greens get a little bit messed up with shoe marks and stuff like that. So the guys later in the afternoon are putting with some maybe marks in the line of their putt and like stuff like that. So yeah, and everybody gets done early. You know, everybody starts at the same time. They get done early, and they're gone. And you know, the one in Miami, I think they had the last year, the Tour Championship for Live, I think was at in Doral. And Snoop Dogg was the main concert act, and they had all these big time people perform. And it's like
they flew people in this jet. I remember seeing videos of people flying, and Dustin Johnson in his jet, like flexing like this, and it was like a DJ booth behind him on this private jet, saying like "Live does it better than the PGA," and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, you know, but for sure. But you know, I'll give the PGA credit. You know, a little bit of respect for this is they're trying. Live changed everything. Their PGA Tour is now trying to adjust. They're making these what they call elevated events. So certain events are going to be worth more money for the players. I think I've heard rumors are trying to go to like some tournaments are going to have no cuts. So everybody gets paid. So, I mean, they're going in the right direction. They're trying to make the game more enjoyable for those guys that are at the bottom or the middle of the field. Because I've seen some of the guys firsthand, the guys that you don't even know of who don't even have a PGA Tour card. In order to qualify for some of these tournaments, and if you don't have like tour status, right, you got to pay like $600 to get into a tournament to qualify. We just had a guy in West Palm who's staying down here for like the 4 or 5 Florida swings, who's trying to make a tournament, trying to make a PGA Tour event. And he's spending like $4 or $5 grand by staying here, by entering these tournaments to qualify, and he doesn't even get a shot at the tournament. Doesn't make it. Score's not good enough.
Who's funding these things? Do they have agents and stuff like that I guess, or are they funding it themselves?
A lot of it's themselves. Some companies, if you have a good connection with some company, they may sponsor you to a certain extent. Some of the bigger name prospect people coming out will have a little bit more sponsorship edge, but dude, for the most
like the
part,
younger kids in a sense, right? Like a kid coming up through the ranks or something like that, whatever.
Yeah, like a prodigy type of kid, they'll have more sponsors. But for the most part, no, because there's so many people trying to make it, and they got to fund it themselves. It's crazy.
And I think this is proof. I think this is proof of something I've told Willie over and over again. Capitalism is fucking great, isn't it? All of a sudden, PGA Tour has been around for hundreds of years and never really had any competition. And now Liv came in with a checkbook and just said, you know what? Let's change all this up. And yeah, it's Saudi money. Yeah, some of it's blood money. But hey, we're going to change up this. We're going to rewrite all this history. And look, they are, man. Like, that's proof in the pudding. Like, it's the American dream, right? Like, that competition is what brings out the best in everyone. And for a long time, the PGA didn't have any competition. And now it has some. And now we're going to see, like, whether they're going to put up or whether they're not. I think there's always going to be a place for the PGA. Yeah. There's something about wearing a green jacket, right, that's always going to hold a special place for most golfers. But once you get one, there's really no point in staying because the money is definitely across the street, so to speak. So it's one of those catch-22 situations where I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the next 2, 3 to 5 year span in that area of competition. Man, I think it's going to reshape like the landscape of golf, not the sport of golf, but the actual landscape of what's out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's. Like I said, I think they're going to have to I vision at some point they're going to have to try to work together because I don't think Live Golf they're that kind of bold, that brash brand, right? And, they have the money, but, I think at some point the PGA and Live are just going to have to kind of sit down in a room and figure out how they can work together, because the guys that Live Golf said they're not trying to really compete with the PGA Tour. Like, they have a choice. I think Greg Norman, one of the chair or speakers for the Live, who's doing a lot with them, said that, people still have a choice. They have an option. You can either tune in to Live Golf, you can tune in to PGA. We're not trying to kind of take that over. We just want a different option for guys. And, I really just been looking at, kind of their mindset, right? You got to just put your mind into theirs. And, like I said, they have a life, they have family, they're away from their kids. I don't know if you guys been able to watch The Full Swing on Netflix.
I haven't, but I want to. I haven't.
I would check that out because that's some really good stuff, and it gives you an idea about, because they were filming that while the Live transformation was happening. So you'll get like a really good insight of why some of the guys made the switch, why some of the guys are against it. So I'm my stance on it has kind of been indifferent because I'm always going to watch the PGA Tour, and I think the PGA Tour is always going to bring out the best golfers in the world for sure. I just think the Live Golf, it's something new, it's something different, it's something fun, and they're making a lot of money doing it, and I think for most of the people that are put in their shoes, they would consider it as well, so.
Dude, we got to go to a golf tournament. I want to go to a Live one, but I also want to go back to the Waste Management. I've been to the Waste Management. It is insane. Have you been, Peter, to a Waste Management?
It's one of my bucket lists, man. It's on my bucket list to go to. I know I need to get out there.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. I am down.
But
dude, I will go.
I just went to the Honda here in West Palm Beach, and they're doing a great job as well. I mean,
really?
You go to some of these golf tournaments and, I think, Erik, have you been to a golf tournament?
I've been to one, yeah.
So a lot of it too is you got to look what they don't show you on TV. And if you go into like the fans part of it, it's a party, man. People are having a good time. People are having a party. Yeah. I think they just need to broadcast that stuff a little bit more and just show how fun it is. A golf event is a lot of fun. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, because if you just watch it on TV, you just think it's an uptight event, right? Like they try and they try and make it like a, like a societal upper class type scenario, and that's what it looks like, and that's it is, right? Like golf isn't cheap, but by all means, like I have never been on a golf course and not had a great fucking time. Not once. Like, not one time. And, like, there have been times where I've golfed very poorly, and there have been times where I golfed still pretty poorly, but better than very poorly. And I still have always had a good time with, you're out there with your friends, you're out, basically in nature. I'm swinging a giant club at a little ball. Like, good things are going to happen. There's normally drinking, food, all that type of stuff. So in a lot of ways, like I think if they broadcasted that side of it, the PGA would actually kind of gain some popularity. And that's what I think Liv is doing a good job of, is they're making sure that everyone knows this is a party. And at the same time, we're playing golf.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, being an instructor, I've been really big, on growing the game and stuff like that. And I'll tip my cap, the PGA, man, they do a really, really good job of that, which is the good side of that. Liv is more towards, I think, somebody in our age range, right? Where we're younger guys and, make golf a lot of fun and enjoyable. And, it's a party, right? That's how you're going to grow the game as well. But like from like the junior side, the PGA does incredible job with that. But yeah, I just wish that they showed a little bit more of, behind the scenes, and when you watch the Full Swing, I think you'll get a good idea of I think that's going to change a lot of people's mindsets as well, about what
Oh,
those guys think of, and what those guys are going through. Because it's tough. Even the best in the world, you'll see, man, they got some thoughts going on in those heads. It's tough.
hey, that is
Such a
so
mental
cool, bro.
game.
That is so, so cool because people don't realize how much really goes through athletes. Like
Yeah,
I love when people say, "Oh, to be an athlete, you have to be crazy." It's like, no, no, no. You don't have a choice.
right.
You have to be insane. Like these
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
like close to insane in the
They're
sense like,
different breeds. So if you didn't want to like start like watching it, I recommend going to see episode 2. All right, it's with
uh-huh.
Brooks Koepka. All right,
Ooh, that guy's jacked.
dude, this guy is an absolute different animal when it comes to his mindset, right? So it's so funny. They're showing him in his like huge house on the water, living life large, right? Just got everything he's ever wanted in his life. And I forgot exactly the exact words what he said, but he's talking. He goes, "Yeah, my wife Jenna, she's just talking to me, and all I can think about is my golf swing, man, right now. I don't even hear her." And I'm like, that's the mindset. That's the mindset that some of these great players literally think of. Like they're talking to their family and their friends, and you're gonna see something if you watch that. Brooks Koepka is putting in his living room, right? And he has this machine here. That machine is like a $20,000-$30,000 machine that he's just rolling putts in his living room with his hoodie on, his sweatpants. I don't even know what but just that's the mindset that those guys take.
all day long.
They don't stop, and I think golf is just it relates very much to baseball because, like you said, baseball, Hall of Famers go 3 for 10, right? We hear that a lot. And these golf guys, man, they're shooting under par, and that's not good enough to compete on the top stage in the world. You
Yeah, you're
know
still getting smoked.
exactly. It's
And there's
scary.
even days where like this guy's just hot today and he's smoking everybody, and it makes no sense. And you're like, I've golfed with this guy 100 times and he's never played this good, and now he's 7 under par.
Yeah.
No,
And it just so
it's
happens it's the
crazy.
Masters. So you're just like, what the
Right.
fuck?
It's the
Like you're in the
the
business
biggest
doing
change.
this right now.
That's so cool though, right? Like in a game
Mm-hmm.
like golf, you can play as good as you want, but if somebody, I mean, I guess it's like every game, but like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You can literally play perfect, and it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Or
For
what the
sure.
course deems the score should be is par. And honestly,
You're better, better
if
than
you hit
perfect.
par in most courses on that level, you're not winning shit.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's a different world, and I'm glad to see that golf's kind of on the rise with younger guys and college guys because that's what it needs. It's not your typical sport like we were saying. It's a different game now, which is awesome.
What did what do you think is what do you think is next like for you? Would you ever want to go on tour? Would you ever think that you
No,
can, or even any
dude,
tournaments at all?
well, what we have is being like a PGA member, you have section events. So like I'm part of the South Florida PGA section, so we can play with other like golf professionals, and you can win some. There's some tournaments you can play to win money and stuff like that. Because I got to technically play at a pro status once you start playing in those tournaments and making money. But those guys, I mean, I would have to quit my job and be hitting balls for 7-8 hours a day for like the next 3-4 years to even have a sniff at a potential tournament. And I mean, on a
Yo, but
bad
that
day,
puts you still like right at 30, another 10 years of
yeah, I
it.
mean, it happens. Golf's a great game. There's a ton of PGA rookies that can start at 29, 30, 31 years old. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Like your bad days need to be under par. I mean, that's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I have buddies. I have buddies that I know one of the best ones is Taylor Snyder is his name, and he's with the Giants at the moment. But he's the best golfer I've ever seen in person. Right, I haven't seen you play, Peter. I'm sorry, I don't.
No, yeah, there's a lot of really good golfers. There's really good golfers in this world.
But he plays tournaments in the off season all the time, and I really am genuinely excited. I hope he plays forever baseball. I'm not wishing him any bad at all, but I know that he's going to try to make it on tour, and I'm so excited to see him like chase that because I think it's so sick. Like golf is such a sick sport. I think my head just doesn't work for it. I'm absolutely insane. I won't.
Yeah, I don't know really if I could see you like constantly playing golf because I know you and I know your mentality.
He can't sit still, man.
It just I don't think it would go well.
Dude, this is me in a golf course. I'm gonna give you an idea and tell me if you think I'm lying or not. So this is me. I get to the golf course. I go to the range. I start hitting some balls pretty well. Feels good. I get out on there on the course. Start playing. Hole 1, do okay. Hole 2, start getting a little better. I feel good. Hole 3, I was like, all right, cool. Like maybe I'm starting to play, right? We're starting to use my ball sometimes, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And when I mean good for me. My hole 5 or 6, bro, I'm like, I'll play the music in the golf cart, piss some old guys off, and that's about it, bro. Like I'm good. I'll take some shots along the way, bro.
It's more like, where's the beer cart girl? Where's she at? Where's she at, bro? We got here at 7 a.m. It's still like it's not 8 o'clock yet.
Let me get a beer, bro. That's about it, dude. I'm good. I can't. All these guys are just sitting there like meticulously looking at the ball. Let me see the angle, the way the wind is blowing, and I'm like, bro, I gotta move, bro. We've been here for like 3 hours, dude. We're still not nowhere to be like even close to halfway done, bro. Come on, dude. Let's get it going. I don't have the patience, bro. I'm sorry. I know that hurts you. I hear it. I see it in you. You're like, oh my gosh, you'd be terrible on a course.
And then I'm the guy that's the opposite. I'm trying to like measure out all my shots. Like,
oh my god!
And for no reason because I can't make the ball go where I want it to go. So it's like, all right, about this far out. So let me get my 9-iron here, and I'm in the woods. And it's just.
I mean, one of my really good friends that I work with now, he always says the better you get, the worse this game gets on you mentally, right? Because you have so much high expectations, once you start playing good. And, we were playing one time with these 2 random people and, he's also a scratch golfer, right? And we're hitting these golf shots that we hate, like we don't like. And the people next to us that we don't know that we were paired up with were like, no, nice shot. And I just look at him like, that was horrible. Like, that was horrendous.
Shut up, bro. Shut up.
Yeah, like, that was just terrible. Like, that. But, sometimes we got to think and, like, yeah, you know what? That was a pretty good shot. Hey, not bad as I thought. But, yeah, sometimes I can hate golf. The more I play, the better I get. So.
Oh man, dude, it's so exciting though. Have you taken David out at all ever?
Have I taken what? I'm sorry.
David Thompson out to play?
Oh, David, yeah. So I got to get reconnected with him. But so when he actually lived here with me in my house.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, when he was in St. Lucie, and we'd go out a couple times. And play and stuff like that. Just typical David Thompson stuff. Like as he was on the baseball field, very calm, very cool, very collective, right? Just David doing David things. He was always a good golfer. He's a good player. But so David, when I stopped playing, I went out with Andy Honiotis. Remember Andy, right? Yeah. Andy Ho. But I'm glad to see though a lot of guys are playing more. I see Zach plays. I know we were trying to get together.
Yeah. Zach he's obsessed too, bro.
It's addicting, man. There's something about it for baseball players.
It's that one good swing you get. You get one good swing and you're like, I gotta come back now.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I would do in spring training is I'd get if anybody was going to golf. Like when we get
Yeah.
there early and we don't have much to do in the second half of the day, I'd go and drive the golf cart around with the guys, like just to hang
Yeah.
out, bro. I love to like go and just hang out at the golf course. I think it's a blast to be there. I
Oh
just
yeah,
maybe I have to go.
such a good time.
Let's go play, Peter. Would you hang out with me and play around the golf?
Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, that would be amazing. That would be
All
awesome.
right,
We need to.
all right,
We got to
all right.
make
Yeah,
it
we got to do that
a
because
priority.
yeah, because as long as we're not like stopping anybody or anything like that, but I want to play.
Stopping anybody. No, bro. We're going to be zooming by. I don't waste time, dude. I get the number, I hit the shot.
Let's go, baby. I like that. No wasting time.
I love playing golf. I love it. I've taken take this for how it sounds, but I've started to get a little artistic about it, visualizing shots and stuff like that. But I don't get to the point where I'm a person where I want to play, I want to do our thing, I want to get off. Because I don't like I think naturally I'm a fast moving person. I'm always looking at like what's next, what to do, which could be a problem in some things. But I'm just like, all right, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's have a good time. Because nothing's worse than being on a golf course, honestly, for 4 hours, 45 minutes. Takes your day away. Like, I'm like, let's go. Let's do this. Let's play. And we're off. Let's do it.
I can't stand that. All right. Maybe it's just I need to play with you, bro. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
The better you are, the less time you're going to spend on a hole, Willie. Like a par 5 is going to take me forever. It's only going to take him at most 5 strokes. Like,
oh man, dude. I all right. So let's get to baseball a little bit. Sorry, Peter,
Okay.
for taking
Yeah,
most of the time to talk about golf, but it's just.
But that proves that about golf and like how we see it now. I mean, golf is exciting. It's like something that you can talk about, even if we're not good at it or we don't play it a lot. I mean, it's such a sport to where, man, you can talk about it and everybody kind of relates to it because we all can play it. You know,
I might have to go golf on Sunday. I'm gonna text my golf group, see what they're doing. I might have to go out there.
Oh man! All right,
but
Peter.
yeah, no, I'm ready for the baseball. Let's hit it. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about baseball, bro. Obviously, you had a very successful career. You were able not only to play at a high level in high school, but then also play at a high level in college. But I want you to. I know you kind of hit on it a little bit, right? And I don't mean to get serious at all. I'm sorry, but I want you to kind of tell me about your experience when you did get to the University of Miami. And how did that come about when you were in high school and things of that nature? Like, tell me how that really recruiting process kind of played out for you and how you felt about it when it did happen.
Yeah. So I think for everybody that's watching your show or listening to this, I think that I'm going to fall in a lot of people's scenarios in the sense that I wasn't a Willie Abreu, I wasn't a Zach Collins, I wasn't a Brian Garcia, Andy Schwartz, meaning you guys had, and again, you guys had the skill, you had the ability at a very young age, right? You guys projected very high, very well at that young age, where I wasn't lucky. The only thing, I'm going to be honest, like looking back at it and reflecting, the one thing that I could do and the one thing that I can do very well is I knew how to hit a baseball. I just knew how to hit a baseball. I found a way to do it, right? I wasn't fast. I wasn't the most physical or physically gifted person. I didn't throw the hardest. I didn't throw the fast. I didn't have any of that. So I had basically at the point one tool, I hit the ball and I hit the ball at the right moments, right? So I don't know if you know this, Willie, but I was actually the second signing of my class. I was a very early signing. And then the first guy, I won't say any names, but he ended up not going to Miami. But so I was recruited very early on because I had some really good years early on. I was in 8th grade playing against guys, seniors in high school.
Wow.
Because I played travel baseball for the All-American prospects, and the coach always put me in these crazy situations and stuff like that. I even actually played on a team with Manny Machado, and he was like a senior in high school. And then there's little like don't know what I'm doing out there, pretty much, right? So I mean, I played up, and I had a lot of success hitting, which was my strong suit. And to fast forward near the end of my high school, I had some pretty significant arm problems or arm injuries that kind of remained a mystery for a while. And it caused me not to play as much. And for me, I needed everything. I needed the show. Even though I was committed to Miami, I was kind of always a little bit on that line, that kind of that borderline. So I had to really play my butt off. And during senior year, I was just stuck up on some injuries that didn't put me on the field. For example, and yeah, you actually probably, I don't know if you recall or not, but the end of my freshman year had the same arm problems. I was just misdiagnosed at a younger age with an arm injury. They said it was some type of tendonitis in my arm, and Gino, before I got to Miami, sent me to the Miami doctors when I was telling them I was having these arm problems. I can't get on the field. And they're telling me one thing, and it's not working. It's not hurting. Come to find out, I apparently tore my UCL at a young age, and it repaired itself. And I just found out like a year before I was going to Miami, and it sidelined me, right? So like I couldn't really play, and that hurt me a lot because coming into Miami, I was fighting for my life every day, my freshman year, because I had the feeling that I was kind of on a potential cut line. Like I was fighting for a spring spot, and I kind of knew it too. And I'll tell you how I knew it. It's a funny story. Me and my roommate, I won't say my roommate's name because he got cut like the first week of fall. We were in a dorm room, and we were the only guys not paired with any guys on the baseball team. Like, how you have a dorm, right? There's two guys on one side, two guys on this side, and they split a bathroom, right? Everybody else had two other baseball guys. We had like two baseball players, yeah. We had two randos. And we were joking around one day. I think we're in the cut room, dude. Like if they cut us, they have a free room. So that was like my mentality, right?
Shit. Yeah, because then they could put a normal student in there.
Exactly. That's where my mind was. So fast forward to don't want to drag it out too much, but fast forward to the fall of my freshman year. Again, for me, physically, the running, the condition, the working out, all new. Incredibly tough for me, especially because, like I said, I didn't have those, I guess, that strength naturally or the speed naturally. So I had to push like every single day. And I didn't get off to the start that I wanted in the fall. I think I started 0 for 12, 0 for 13 in fall ball. And it hit me mentally tough, physically tough. I'm like, I'm just waiting to walk in to the locker room and look on the whiteboard and see my name next to there and it says C3, right?
Yeah,
go C3 or stuff like that. But we had our fall meetings, and he was talking about how hey, your play is kind of not there yet. Defensively, third base, first base, you kind of haven't showed me anything really. And hitting, we're off to a slow start. What do you think? And I said, well, I mean, I'm adjusting to the defensive life, at first base because I was a catcher my whole life, and his ears like popped up, right? Like he jumped out of his seat. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I was a catcher most of my life. And he goes, can you gear up right now and go catch a pen for me? And the bullpen was Andy Suarez. So a year and a half of me not catching, I had to go catch Andy
94,
Suarez.
lefty 94, make a long story, breaking with some nice little singing.
Make a long story short, at this kept me there. Kept me there. I really think that it kept me there in that situation, because then I became the third catcher behind Zach Collins and Garrett Kennedy. So it gave him a little bit more depth, right? So, I'm in there freshman year. I had that breakout season. I think I only got 35 at bats, but I hit like 429. So I
Unbelievable.
took advantage. I took advantage of every single at bat that I got in a game. And then fast forward to the spring of sophomore year, I was second in the team in fall ball and hitting, and I earned a starting spot. DH opening day, which, man, when three was telling us the starting lineup, I almost broke into tears, because from that standpoint, I realized that everybody on this field, mentally, physically, I know is a lot better, and that I had to do everything that I could from the ground up. It felt like I got there and I felt like and so I just felt all that hard work kind of really, really paid off. And to get a starting spot at my dream school was incredible. And it's something that I'm very, thankful that I've pushed through it. But, but there was a lot of mental issues that went on during that season for me personally. And I felt mid-season, I talked to my parents and I said, hey, I need to step away. I can't play this game anymore. I fell out of love with it. Mentally, I was not in it anymore. And I just felt that if I continue doing it, what would have happened? But I gave up on myself mentally, and I just needed to step away from it. And I had a good year. It was nothing playing wise, but I just felt that it was time that, I had to step away and kind of find who I was again, and, what the purpose of what I wanted to do with life, and kind of take the reset button, So that was a grind, but
yeah, man, it's first of
go
all,
ahead.
it's so honorable. Do you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah.
First of all, it's so honorable for you to be able to share that, because it's not a lot of people have the balls to say the things that you just did, because it's so real. But people need to hear it, PD, because like so many people have gone through exactly that and just never expressed it. And I could tell you from an outsider, when you were dealing with this, you were dealing it like with such grace and compassion, and it almost, you couldn't tell from the outside looking in. And I'll never forget about this, because so many times I saw you get up to bat, and this is I'm being as honest as I can be. As you know, I used to work on my swing endlessly. I would never stop working on my swing, and I would see the way that you were able to just grab the bat, and just that hit ability of you just being able to lift the bat up and just barrel baseballs. It was a thing that I admired so much, and I dreamed about it. I used to dream about your swing, bro, because it was so simple and easy and compact, and I was like, man, dude, what would I do to have that swing? Because I had all the talent that you talk about that you didn't have. I had it all. I was strong, I was fast, I was big, I could do it all. But one thing I didn't have is that swing, bro. And it was so admirable. And I'm telling you, you don't understand how many times I just copied your swing, because it was on that team with so many hitters, with so many great hitters. Your swing was the simplest and easiest and most pure swing on the team.
Dude, thank you, man. I mean, that means a lot, coming from you, because, I mean, you're Mr. Miami, bro. You're the face of Miami. And, looking back at it, I mean, it's easier said that we played on those teams, but I mean, I look back at some of the Miami teams and my gosh, dude, those 2 years that was just a talented team. But, not taking anything away from my original hitting coach, who ended up, and I'll talk about this here in a little bit, became my head coach at my new school, because he taught me everything I knew. But kind of when I made through the transition, you know, of my swing going from high school to college, I worked with Mickey Brantley, who is Michael Brantley's dad.
Wow.
So if you're familiar with Michael Brantley, so yeah, so I actually got to know Michael very, very well through the few years that I worked with him and stuff like that, and kind of picked his brain about stuff. So you think you talk about that simplicity and finding a way to barrel balls. I mean, that's kind of how I picked it up in a way where that was his philosophy, exactly what you said. You know, keep it simple, try to find the barrel, and that's kind of where I learned to the swing was, and kind of, like I said, not taking anything away from my original hitting coach, because he got me in the doors at Miami. Brooke Fordyce, he's a former MLB player for the Baltimore Orioles for 10 years. But it just changed my mindset a little bit of the simpleness of the swing and getting a feel or understanding of the strike zone and understanding how to barrel balls and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for saying that, Will. That's
No,
really
I mean,
nice.
and I'm telling you because it's something that I'll never forget, right? Because
see, and you should have told me that, because going back to what would people think of me, there you go. I mean, I probably thought I had the worst swing in the world,
I was
right?
in awe. And you know what's funny, Pete? I feel, and now we're just reminiscing in a sense, but I feel like in those times I could have done a better job by telling you, hey, like, yo, that is amazing, bro. That is an awesome swing. Like, yo, keep doing that. Because you're talking about going over in the fall. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. And not because I don't remember you hitting. And not because I don't
0 for 12. I picked it up a little bit. Towards
I don't remember you going 1 for 40 in the fall.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I'm playing. I'm just like, dude. No, I don't. I remember your swing. I just keep remembering your swing and being like, damn, bro, that's a nice swing, dude. That is so nice, bro. I wish I could do that, dude. So okay, so you learned that swing, obviously, and you talk about Brantley. When did you come to get around him? At what age?
So I had the same hitting coach. I mentioned him, Brooke Fordyce. This guy taught me how to hit. Like, I was like borderline about to quit baseball when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
well, a lot younger, like when I was like 10. And this guy just taught me how to flat out hit a baseball. And so with him for years, or no, sorry, Matt's wrong. I was with him at that. I'm thinking ahead. I was with him for about like 8 years, right? So when I was actually coming to my junior year, I just felt like I needed a fresh idea, kind of switch things up. And that's when Mike, oh gosh, combining names. His dad, Mickey Brantley, is a local guy where I live in Port St. Lucie. And this is actually at the time when Mike really wasn't the Mike Brantley that we know now. He was up with the Indians. Like, he was maybe like 1 or 2 years in with the Indians, or now the Guardians. And so he was around, and during the off season, like, he'd hang out with Mickey, and he'd hang out with all the guys that hit baseballs and stuff like that. And I was actually fortunate enough. I built a batting cage in my backyard, and Michael came over here weekly to give lessons and hit with me and stuff with that. So right before I was in that junior to senior year of high school, kind of when I started getting with him and picking his brain, and kind of changed my outlook of hitting.
Nice. But you obviously, I mean, that's you were still hitting at a high level before that, right? Like, obviously with your, yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Cause I mean, like I said, that before that got me into Miami, that got me recruited to schools and stuff like that. It's just when the injuries kept me off, I felt like I couldn't sustain that swing anymore. It was a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more of a longer swing, but maybe feeling, probably doesn't look, but feeling a little bit more aggressive, or a little bit more into the golf ball.
You can't get it out of your head now,
Willie,
bro.
this is what happens, bro. but that's what happens with the baseball swing. And then I just need a new approach. I just wanted to kind of simplify things. So I just made the switch, and 5 years later,
Dang,
he's my
bro.
new
So
head coach.
talk to me about
My
Kaiser.
original
Talk to me
hitting coach.
about jumping into Kaiser and how that come about and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so on your show, I'm gonna let you know there needs to be more respect given to NAIA
Say it.
baseball. Okay, because there are some very talented players in that division that either don't give a shot or don't get a shot based on geographical locations. Maybe they're just not up to par in school. But man, I face them because I walked in there. I'm like, this can't be. There's some dudes, right? There's some. For example, if you
Yeah.
remember Nick Vitari, right? I played against him for 2 years. He was at one of our rivals in our division. Like the NAIA gets some D1 talent, and there's some guys that can play at some high levels. But so going back, I decided that I needed to I had the year off, and that first year seeing baseball, right? You're like, damn, I'm missing
Absolutely.
it, right? You're missing it. You're like, so I was thinking, I'm like, I know if I was to possibly on a chance come back to Miami, I don't want to face the same problems mentally that I did. So I knew that I needed a new change in scenery kind of for that to happen. So one of my best friends who I ended up living with my junior year there, basically I asked him like, hey, how's the life down there at Kaiser in West Palm? How is that? He goes, dude, you gotta be here. You gotta experience it. It's awesome. Awesome. And I'm like, right then and there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna come back. I knew the coach, so I called him up, and just like that, within 24 hours, I made a decision that, I'm jumping back into this, right? And I was thinking, going up into that summer, I'm like, did I make the right choice? Am I going to hate it again? Did I leave Miami here to do this? And because I live with Barry
Oh,
Bukowski, who's still to this day one of my truly great friends, and he's like, you got to do it, man. Just finish what you started. Finish what you started. Doesn't matter the uniform, doesn't matter the color that's on. Finish what you started, and that's what I did. So I said I'm going to Kaiser. And to give you an idea of what that NAIA baseball life is, Willie, and just think about going back to your high school days, playing summer ball with the travel guys. You played
Elite
for
squad.
who'd you play for again? Elite squad, right? Yeah. So think about playing with the elite squad, right? You're in East Cobb for the week. You're playing baseball. You're having fun. There's stuff outside of baseball to do. Dude, that's what it's like at a college level. So you're like the relationship with the guys, man. You guys are all the same person. Like I maybe played with one or two freshmen, but like everybody was a transfer. Everybody's coming in from different places, and we had all these guys that really related to you in your situation and stuff like that. And it was honestly some of the funnest baseball I played. I learned how to smile again on a baseball field, which sometimes, the guys that play at high levels know that's not always a thing, man. You can't get away with smiling, right? So I learned how to smile again on a baseball field, and that was the biggest thing for me. And I just learned, and I got healthy again. At Miami, at my heaviest, I was 235, and I got to 185, within a year. And it wasn't bad weight
Hello?
loss. It was,
Oh, there you go.
I think, me being healthy. Me being healthy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
did you hear that
wasn't
last
bad
part?
weight loss, right? Like he was just you being healthy.
Yeah. You were being healthy. I was just making healthier decisions, making healthier choices, and kind of getting stronger in the gym. Not saying we didn't do that at Miami, man, because we threw some weight around in that gym. But I think there was more of a purpose with everything I was doing. And I got healthy, and I had finished my college career on two very, very high note seasons. And things that I'm proud of is my senior year, I won the Gold Glove for NAIA for first base.
Damn.
And the reason why, I have so much pride in that is I don't care about the award, but it was basically an award that I was told by a very prominent baseball coach that I am not good enough to touch the field as a defensive player. Right. So, so that right there, I think that lived in the back of my head as motivation as to be an expert in that craft and put a little bit more kind of focus or importance in it, because getting really good at defense, it makes the game a lot funner for sure. I mean, hitting's fun. That's why everybody plays baseball if you're a hitter, because you want to hit. But putting effort and work towards defense, and if you're able to kind of build yourself into a better defensive player, man, it makes a difference. It makes a world of a difference. So
you could change the game.
It was a great 2 years, and I'm very proud of that decision.
Man, that's an awesome redemption type story too, right? Like literally the one skill you have is making contact and hitting a ball, and the biggest knock is that on the flip side, when lines change, you know, you don't bring anything, and now, you know, technically the best first baseman defensively in NAIA, and like there's some dogs in NAIA, as you said. So like, man, that's a redemption story, and like everyone, you know, like everyone has their own redemption story, right? Everyone's their own hero to their own story, and like, man, it's just proof that like perseverance, doing the right things, and sometimes changing scenery can be, you know, there's a saying right now that like most young men should leave the city that they grew up in and just go to a different city, because the people in that city don't have a perspective of you growing up, right? So your ideas or your skills or the things that you want to accomplish are more possible because no one sees you as, you know, little Willie who, you know, just got tall in high school, or Peter who couldn't play first base before, but now you're in a new scenery and anything's possible because they have no perspective. They have no idea who you are or what you can accomplish.
No, I mean, that's exactly it, because, you know, one of the toughest things was, you know, hearing that information and, you know, basically just defeating me mentally on the mental side of things. Right. So it's like, you know, I thought like right then and there, you know, it's done, but it's serving the purpose that, you know, if you're a guy that's at the highest of levels and stuff like that, right, and you feel you're not going to make it, there is nothing wrong with finishing up your career at somewhere that's just not necessarily as large, because you'll come to find out, man, I you know, I loved all you guys at Miami. You guys are incredible, you know, friends and lifelong friends and teammates and stuff like that. But, you know, I've met some guys that they've made a huge difference in my life, and to have that community and to kind of flip the script on, you know, everything that you went into college at, and you change everything by getting fat. That's actually another thing, losing so much weight. I didn't know how fast I could be as well, you know, so the game changed, and it's just about the changes and location. You know, quick story is when I did that change, my mom got me a lanyard from, it said, changes in latitude, changes in attitude. from Jimmy Buffett, right? The Jimmy Buffett song or whatever. So I hung that in my locker. And, just to remind me that, you need that latitude change sometimes to bring out your ability, to bring out who you are, and just to remind you that there's so much more than the negatives, and you can find love and stuff like that and everything that you do. So,
Petey, if I were to
it's
ask
been great.
10-year-old
Yeah.
Peter Crocitto, would you have wrote this story the way that it went?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, I would, because I had to do it. I had to try. I had to go to Miami. I had to give it everything that I got. At the end of the day, man, I wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play baseball at the everyday level that I could, So I went a place that I missed one game because of a hit by pitch injury, but I played every single game. You had to absolutely drag me out off the field to not play because I did not want to leave after leaving Miami. I did not want to leave anything on that field. I did not want to leave anything behind. And my senior year at Kaiser, I had the most awkward injury. I was playing first, normal pickoff, and my foot gave out and I overextended my hamstring. And I couldn't move my hamstring at all. And I was refusing to give out one game. Actually, I lied. This is going to suck. You ready? Listen to this. This is how the story ended. So graduation, okay? We ended up not making the playoffs that year. We kind of had an off year as a team, but it was graduation. And so the seniors, they walked or whatever, and we ran right down the street to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches to get ready for the districts or whatever. So I'm out there. It's hot. I'm taking batting practice and stuff like that. And I walk out of the batting cage and I feel very nauseous, very dizzy. And I just drop to the ground on one knee. And I felt I think I got some type of food sickness, right then and there or something like that. So nothing really major, but because I was throwing up an hour before that, and I felt horrible. And I just felt at that time that the sick me right now would be not a good option to go in. And that ended up being our last game of the year.
Oh.
We didn't expect it was. But like you said, I'm not gonna leave hanging everything on one missed game at the end of the year, because of everything that I've done, going into that year and 2 years.
Dude, that's so sick, bro. I mean, listen, I was so excited to have you on because of exactly this. People don't realize some stories that aren't aligned to the way people, right? So many times we think we know how the story's going to end, and there's so many bumps and, turns on the way that really make the story even better than what you thought.
Yeah. I know. And, in an ideal world, I spend, 4 years at Miami. I give a shot at professional baseball and, with the hopes and dreams of someday making it, right? Like we all do.
Yeah.
That's why we play the game at that level, right? And it turned into 2 years at my dream school and then 2 years playing some of the funnest baseball I've ever played in my entire life and kickstarting a career that changed my life. If I never left Miami, I'm probably not playing golf. I like coaching, I like instructing. I'm probably somewhere field coaching, and that's fine. That's great. But, this is kind of where I'm happy with my career kind of at.
I like your story, Peter, because it's a different flavor of success. Does that make sense? You were in pursuit of the traditional route, the route that we all thought everyone should have or would have or defined as successful. But like really, like you go to college to prepare you for the real world. You go to college and baseball and sports as a kid, like when you're first going, like your parents didn't want you to start playing baseball with the idea of, oh, Jesse's going to be a professional. It's like, first it's like life lessons and this and that and growing up and teaching him how to become a man and all that. Like you were a success at that. Like you got to play the game that we all love for longer than 99% of people get to play it. Not only that, you got to add education out of it. You got some fun times, good times, a ton of life experience, and like all things being equal, like I define your story as a success. Is it traditional? No, but fuck tradition, man. Success is success.
No.
Like, man, I love it because everyone wants to focus on those traditional stories. Everyone wants to tell those traditional stories, or at least the ones that look like they went from A, B to C. But like A, B, and C is like all over the place. And like, who knows what the next step is? Like, maybe you start managing a golf course, and then that managing a golf course leads you to, building your own and then doing something else or something crazy along those lines. And maybe we never have that if you don't go to Kaiser, and that could potentially change people's life.
Yeah. Yeah. And, for me, I think the big success was the getting over the hurdle. That was the biggest success to me because, man, I mean, again, I don't know how it was for a lot of people, but there was a lot of calls at night, the family, loved ones, almost in tears saying that, I can't do this. I don't know what this is going to, like, there's just more to the end of the story. There's more to life than, and that, it really got me through it, got me through the hard times. And, once I was in a different scene, and don't get me wrong, I had some amazing memories, meeting Willie, meeting you guys, and playing in 2 College World Series, and, a lot of great memories, man. Winning, we always won. I mean, we were at one point a number 1 ranked national team. I mean, that's awesome, dude. That's great. I mean, so many great stories. And it's like that. I always think about, it's like that iceberg thing, right? Is you see the tip of the iceberg, but very few people know what goes on, underneath the surface. And I think that's one thing that's kind of missing from college, and I think sometimes coaches and stuff like that, no matter what school you're at, I don't think it's said enough, is you just need to be told that, hey, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, because that little thing, right, I think gets a lot of like the mediocre guys, the middle of the pack guys, it gets them through to see like, hey, I'm not doing as bad. Like you said, Willie, like you had a completely different outlook, right? So of me, when I thought, I'm horrible, like I'm done, I'm not in a good situation, my swing's all messed up, right? Sometimes you just need to be told, hey, you know what? You're doing good, man. Just keep it up. And I just don't think that's said enough, high level environment.
Yo, I should have, bro. I'm sorry, dude.
No, not from you.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying,
bro. From the adults in the room that were supposed to be mentoring young men, not from the other young men. That's what he's doing. He's like, hey, coaches, maybe after someone hits, makes a good hit, or someone finally gets out of that slump, I don't know. Hey, man, good job. You worked your way out of this. Fuck. Awesome job. Willie, walk-off home run. Good job. Fuck. Like, yes.
Right, because sometimes you feel like.
Hello?
What I got to do to get attention, right? For somebody to say, hey, yeah, I like what you do. And again, you hear it from the teammates. Teammates, they always got your back. I think Willie, out of everybody in that locker room, I think Zach did it a different way to me because I was part of the catching squad, right? But, Willie was definitely more one of the positive guys that kind of put me in the right direction. I think him more than anybody. You did do a lot. You did put me in on. I have a lot of great pictures. I mean, I have a picture with you with my first hit ball and some stuff like that. I mean, you were there, but like you said, Erik, I think it just needs to come from the guys that are, more in the leadership role. And you hear this
Right, the damn
exactly.
lineup.
I mean, and we're all friends with people that went to different universities, so I'm not saying like Miami, I'm saying the Floridas, the Florida States, we know those guys, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, we
Yep.
know those guys. And the narrative is pretty straightforward, right? Like, I'm all down for hard work. I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm not afraid to get tested. I'm not afraid to be pushed. I'm all for that. But just every once in a while, just a little feedback like, hey, man, you're doing a good job. Just keep pushing through. I think that's the little thing that's missing.
Yep.
Keep pushing us. That's fine. That's what makes those programs great, and it's what makes them elite. But just like I said, just a little acknowledgement here and there, I think, could go a long way in that mediocre, that average player's college career. And it may get them past something that's a little bit more deeper than baseball. It could be school. It could be personal problems, But everybody likes to be told that, hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, you're good, man. You're doing good. Keep pushing. Keep working. We see it. We see it paying off. Everybody likes to hear that. I don't know anybody that does,
Absolutely.
So that's kind of my 2 cents on
You're
that.
absolutely correct, bro. Dude, PD, I absolutely love this, bro. I appreciate it so much that you jumped on, and we're gonna have you back on. And I think, yo, how about this, PD? Can we do a podcast while we golf?
Absolutely.
Like,
ooh, I think we can make that happen.
Get on the course, and
idea.
we're playing. We're mic'd up. We're ready to rock, kind of like when Aaron Rodgers and Brady do their thing.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, let's do something like that, bro. We'll get the cameras on the course, and we're rocking.
I think I need to golf on Sunday. I think I need to golf this Sunday.
Well, I think this is something that should be like immediately kind of set up. Like, we got to get going with this. That would be an yeah, we got to get this set up.
Oh, let's go, baby! I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
Because I know you have, like I said, I know you have a bunch of baseball guys in here that when they go to bed, they think of their golf swing.
Oh, that's all they think about. I swear, there's baseball guys that don't. Like, I'm pretty sure Zach right now is practicing his golf swing, not his baseball swing.
Ooh, don't say that too loud.
No, but this is the thing. The guys that run his team are probably doing the same. The guys that are supposed to be making the decision on if he's making the team or not are probably practicing their golf swing too now.
Like a little, well, not insider info, but like the guy, Jim Crane, right, who owns the Houston Astros, right? He owns the Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
That's right here in Palm City. So he takes care of his guys, man. Those guys, I hear stories all the time, man. Those guys are going out playing some nice courses and stuff like that. So, I mean, especially during this time of year, spring training, man, you go out to the golf course. I think no matter what course you go out down here, because in the Palm Beach area, you got the Cardinals, the Marlins, the Nats,
all the teams,
the Astros, you got them all here. And it's like, you always see them at the golf courses. Like, I don't even need to ask you. I know you're a baseball guy. It's just which organization you play for, like,
you obviously don't throw today, right?
Or at least you better not be throwing today.
Or they might have already.
We met up with a guy from the Honda Classic who's turned out to be a pretty good friend of ours. He goes, yeah, man, I just threw a bullpen and I hauled right over here to watch the end of the Honda. Like that's how serious, man, some of these guys about golf.
No, they're sickos.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I've been trying to say if we can start like a company or something. I've always been saying this, that integrates golf and baseball somehow. I mean, that's just I don't know how yet, but there's something out there that's going to integrate both those sports, because
that's actually a great. Oh, you got Erik thinking now, bro. We're gonna have to have another podcast. He's like, oh,
Where's where's the
that's what I'm
entrepreneurship
talking about.
mindset going here? What do we build? Where do we start?
Well, you can't mix the actual games themselves because it take away, but I think there's probably something where you can offer like tea times, like through an app of some sort, specifically catered around pitching schedules for pitchers or different game schedules, or I don't know.
I'm putting my
And then could you imagine like Verlander just throws 6 and he's sitting there trying to book his tee time for the next morning because he knows he's not going to have to pitch, and he could just get it from one app and it's already there for him already.
Is there an app like that, Peter? Is there an app with all the courses on it and you could book tee times?
It's like Golf Time, right? Golf Now is like the big one right now.
Golf Now, where you can just go on. But
yeah,
I was thinking like something like about like maybe like a book about like how to transition from
Oh shoot! Ooh. I like where your head's at, Petey.
Yeah.
Damn, kid.
The angles that you have to switch your swing from, or feet, how the motion is supposed to go. So it would basically
be like an instructional guide about talking about the relationship between the baseball swing and the golf swing. And personally, I think the best athletes that come from a different sport is hockey players.
Well, yeah, because think about where their puck is, exactly. Right? It's on the ground.
Right,
it's on the ground.
Exactly. And not to get too technical, but the impact position, the ideal impact position in the golf swing is very similar to how it should be in the hockey when they're releasing the release point in a hockey puck shot.
When they do like a slap shot, right?
Yeah.
Not like a pole shot. Yeah.
But the way they hold the stick and the way they pass and the way they shoot is the same positions your hands have to be in.
I can see that, and like, yeah. Ooh.
Oh, brother, we're getting to where we gotta be, brother. This is what I like.
Oh, all right. So you start running a course, Pete, and then we hold a tournament where we invite the best hockey players that play golf and the best baseball players that play golf too, and have them compete. And we televise.
There you go. I mean, you could get some big names into that for sure.
What? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be insane.
There's a small contingent of basketball players too that
no, bro. They
themselves.
Come on,
bro. Steph Curry. Steph Curry, he really believes he's a golfer.
Here's a little fun fact. I worked at Disney Golf for about like I think just a year and a half, but in between jobs transitioning. But I was there during the NBA bubble. And so one of the only things that they could do outside that bubble was come to our golf courses and play. So I mean, we had all the big names, Steph Curry, LeBron. LeBron came, but he didn't play. I think he just rode on the cart. But what's that guy who JR was always there? Yeah. Jason Kidd.
Yeah, he's playing in a college team right now.
Yeah, J.R. Smith is playing at a college, yeah, which is pretty sick. But yeah, we had all those guys come down. So there's quite a few of them, a lot of referees. A lot of officials.
Fun fact, J.R. Smith dropped 28 points on me in high school. Great Florida shootout.
Really?
Yeah. And that was low.
Really?
Yeah. That guy was the very next year he was playing the league, so that's why I still got all the college eligibility. The very next year he's in the league.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, PD, thank you so much, bro. This was absolutely a blast. We're going to get on the course and we are going to record it, which is going to be great.
Yeah, so we got to do like a little vlog or something like that, or
what? Absolutely, bro. Don't worry. I got the cameras on deck. We're going to be ready to rock.
Thank you so much for your time, Petey. Thanks for telling your story, man. That's awesome.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I hope that this kind of like gets to guys that are on that average scale in the sense of, where, because I know every team has a lot of them, right? Where you're kind of fighting for every day. You don't have it naturally as gifted as everybody, just keep all doors open, never know what's gonna open and what's gonna build that happiness. Because like I told you, if I did my 4-year plan of college, I would have never foreseen myself even thinking about playing NAIA baseball. But it turned out to be incredible. So, but again, Willie, I love what you do. Erik, this is awesome, guys. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank
And
you.
I wish you guys more success on this stuff because I've been following and I love it. So
let's go.
It's awesome.
Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna keep it going, Petey. We're gonna keep it going, man. Oh man. All right, guys. I gotta go get some sleep, bro. I'm exhausted.
All right.
Yeah, me too. Take it easy.
All right,
Peace
see you
out.
guys. See
Love you guys.
See ya.